Okay, so what we learned yesterday basically is that we can't trust anybody who is super rich or very powerful or very influential who is in charge of anything. Basically, anybody who is a common knowledge, well known name is in some way involved with some of the worst things you can hear of. Everything from like child sacrifice and, I don't even know what the content policies on TikTok allow, but abuse, all that kind of stuff. All these people are involved in it, and they're all hiding it. It's kind of crazy to think that our entire world is built upon or being controlled by people who really are as evil as the average conspiracy theorists think they are. It's not even it's not even just like a wild theory. Like people in the 90s would be like, "No, you're wild. You're crazy. You're doing too much drugs." But now it's literally like it's almost a conspiracy theory not to believe these things or not to see these things. And then we're asking ourselves is like all the apps we're using, most of the technology we're using, it's not everybody so far, at least, that we know of. Only one guy's been caught. One guy was caught and all of this was exposed. Imagine if there's like 10 of these, if there's like 10 of these types of people, 10 Epsteins or whatever, and we only got one of them. And all these people are old anyways. I mean, they might die of natural causes pretty soon. And so it's almost kind of disappointing that it took so long for it to come out. It usually does. They usually don't get recognized until after they're dead for how evil they were, but some of them are still alive, and most of them are still in positions of power, which is kind of wild to think. But that being said, it's crazy that the world that we're all used to, like we're all good people, by and large, in general, good people. Some of the worst things we do are nowhere comparable to actual crimes or to how bad these like elite people are, right? But we obviously are well more aware of how we act and what we think and what we surround ourselves with. But we're kind of stuck in this interesting trap where we have to use the technology that these people create. We have to live within the society and the rules that these people govern and control. So the people who create the constraints and the tools with which we go about our lives are by and large apparently involved in some of the most horrible things a human can do. And they walk around, they're still happy, they're still human, they're still expressing emotions, and they're still free, and they're still in denial and denying everything, and they're not exactly creating any believable reasons as to why they're involved in these things. And we're all just kind of like we're all looking at each other. You're looking at the people you were told that you have to disagree with, the people who are across from you in politics or in society or your neighbor you don't like. We're told we're supposed to hate these people and we're supposed to disagree with each other while we're in the same boat here. But the people who seem to be causing all the problems and doing all the evil, the actual evil things that normally people get death sentences for, and by and large, all jury commits 2 hours of 30 minutes of deliberation or less, they're the ones who are doing all the evil things and getting away with it and controlling what we get access to as far as information and content and products and deciding what our work schedule is and deciding what our taxes are and deciding what we own and what we can't own, what we do own and what we don't own, deciding what kind of cars we get, basically deciding by and large most of what adds things to our life besides like what our body is, right? All the things of society are kind of run by people who are using all this power and influence for the evil. And so what do we do with that information? Where do we go from here?